Welcome to the Driverpreneur webinar. We're sponsored by Explore Grand Rapids, where they offer premier activity guide packages for the Grand Rapids residents, as well as Ride Local, where we drive people happy. I'd like to give a shout out to our friends at Grand Rapids Rideshare Adventures and thanking them for all the content and the help they have given to drivers in the Grand Rapids area. We do ask that you check them out on Facebook and also on YouTube channel. And that way you can listen to all their past episodes as well as be alerted for the future ones. Let them know that Driverpreneur sent you. When you do, go check them out on Facebook or YouTube. Now we're moving on to our next slide, where we start out with the news in the rideshare called our Rideshare Buzz. Now, rideshare protest has been a big thing for the year 2019, where drivers are speaking their voices based on unfair treatment from Uber and Lyft. This is one of the reasons why Ride Local was started, is to combat the problems that are associated with the drivers and the riders and the rideshare platform. We announced our launching back in October at the Grand Rapids Market, accepting riders and drivers. When we started to launch, we had both apps on and we were accepting both. We started out a test launch with people from the company, where we went out to the market area in Grand Rapids and gave free rides to new drivers and accepted rides as drivers. That way we can work out the bugs and we can see how the functionality, ease of operation is for the riders. Now, Trip and Vibe opened up in Florida. They're accepting drivers only. I have been following these two companies for quite a while. It's amazing how they are really like the hoopla. So if you listen to any Vibe videos for the promotions, you'll hear fake background audience. So they're trying to hype you up. They're trying to get you excited about their platform. Trip, they've been accepting drivers for quite some time now. Initially, their plans was to open up in Miami. They still haven't. They don't have riders on the road, and their excuse to the drivers is if we release the rider app, the riders won't be able to get rides from the drivers, which is not true. If they can't get rides from that platform, then they have an option as a person running their own business to use other means of rideshare like Uber and Lyft to offset their income. One thing about it, Zoom Ride is launching in 2020 in Detroit market, similar to MLM, accepting drivers only. The background, the guy who started that is from Ford Motor Company. Not a lot of experience in the rideshare business. Matter of fact, Trip, Vibe, and also Zoom Rides have limited experience in the rideshare business and very limited managerial entrepreneurial skills in order for them to scale it the way they should. Our platform is based on a win-win situation for riders, drivers, local businesses, as well as Ride Local. I'd like to show you a clip I have on the news media.
Dollars off their hard work, but do little to boost employee wages.
I will not buy an IPO. This is a slavery. This is a slavery. I will not support a slavery company, a company who slaved 3 million drivers. That's what it is. Yes. If you call somebody make $9 an hour, what will you call this $9 an hour? I have to still pay for my gasoline. I have to pay for my car. I have to pay for my insurance. Then I have to feed my family.
Oh, our demands for today are drivers should have a guarantee of 80 to 85% of the fare. No more upfront pricing where drivers are cut out of the fare revenue. And we want an end to deactivation without any notice or just cause.
Uber stock is about to go public this Friday. Protests were held in 10 other cities, including Chicago, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. They were also
All right, so you've gotten a little indication as far as Channel 7, Fox News, talking about the disgruntled drivers and their unfair treatment from Uber and Lyft. And so we move on to our next slide, which is the real win for Grand Rapids, is pretty much the Ride Local. Most companies They have started in certain areas like Snapchat coming out in LA. They changed LA tech because of the amount of business that they've been in national media they got, and GoDaddy coming out of changed Arizona. We also have Facebook out of Boston. Pinterest came out. Each one of these companies, when they came out, they made a global or at least a national impact to put their cities on the map. Ride Local, partnering with the riders, drivers, and local businesses, where we all share in driving residents and travelers to local businesses, paying 100% to drivers and keeping our money in our local areas.
That's what it is.
If you call Michigan. Now, we'll be the first rideshare company, other than back in 2019 that launched in Grand Rapids, with our idea of launching in 6 major cities in Michigan for the first year in 2020. We have partnered with our sister company, Explore Grand Rapids, where we can drive leads through drivers. And then to drive that traffic, we're going to drive it to local businesses and then give cash back to riders and drivers based on the amount of their spending because of our VIP partners. We want to empower the drivers to become independent driverpreneurs, where they receive 100% of their fares and affiliate income streams that we have provided within the platform. Local businesses at that time, because of our VIP partnership, they can grow the number of returning customers with 3 lead generation platforms that we have on our site. Major improvements to the current rideshare, where we all share in driving residents, and we keep all our money in our local area to enrich our residents in Michigan. We believe Grand Rapids is an excellent market, not only because of the needed market for the demand of rideshare, especially a company that's going to be fair with the way they pay their people and the way they treat the riders. We did a results of a group of independent drivers that helped us determine what their needs was, and empowerment within the marketplace, develop a platform that is designed for growth. We believe if you help enough other people get what they want out of life, that you will get what you want out of life. Now, one thing about we have our company is unique driver and customer safety programs is really the key to our mission. Our apps, we understand in order to be in the business, you need 2 things. You need reliability, functionality, and also that will create ease of use. Because of safety and security, we also have an SOS button that we placed on the interface on your app. And then if you push it, it automatically calls to the local police department within 5 seconds. Video monitoring is also another thing that makes us different, where we have dual cameras that are live streamed into the vehicles. That's not only for safety, for us to be able to view what's going on within the driver and the rider, but also it's a way for some of our customers who have their children picked up at schools or their sporting events. It's a way for them to stream in and to make sure that their child or their family, loved family one, is safe. But one thing about unique and the biggest problems we found with drivers is that they can't be paired to riders. In other words, they have a rider, they like it, the rider likes them, but they cannot be paired and use them on a regular basis. What Ride Local does, we believe that because you're a driverpreneur and you're building your base, you're building your business. In order to build your business, we have to solidify your relationship with that rider as a driver. The more you can solidify that, the better you're going to be as far as increasing your business and maintaining it. So it's all about stability and to secure a rider-based growth as you develop your relationships. Moving on, we have 3 types of vehicles. Obviously, this will change over time, but right now we have the Go Classic, which is a now vehicle that can be requested at any time. We have a ride to work program, which are scheduled 30 minutes or more in advance with a reduced fare that goes to the residents. Our XL Luxury is also a pre-schedule, where they're pre-scheduled 6 hours in advance for events or special occasions. A lot of times people will use this for anniversaries, maybe wedding, we have done some weddings, but generally some special event that involves family members. We do have ideas of possibly coming out with more, and I'll give an example. The drivers had brought up an issue as far as females being a little bit feeling insecure about taking rides from a man. So there is a thing where we can offer a vehicle that represents a female driver. And that way the rider has an option to kind of pick who they want and who they feel more secure and safe with. All right, moving on to the next slide, where we have created niche markets. That's the whole thing about the whole thing. The rideshare industry is large, but if we break it down into more niche markets, more segmented markets, we can not only do two things. We can penetrate the market quicker, but then there's another thing is the drivers can make more money because they've built a business based on that niche market. And we can get more into that as you get to become a driver, and we can talk a little bit further into it. Non-emergency medical transport is something we're getting into. We're signing agreements with Aetna Casualty and Life and also Meridian Insurance of Michigan, where they provide 1,000 rides a day in the Western Michigan area, and we'll be part of that. The other ones is senior citizens. We have a plan for senior citizens, and that way we can be more affordable because they're generally on fixed incomes, and also we can have a safe and secure environment so they feel safe. Taking kids to and from school activities, sporting events, travel to the NFL local sporting events. Explore Grand Rapids has a licensing agreement with the NFL as well as sporting events. So we are a big ticket of sales of sporting events, and then with it, you have the option to get travel. Our travel is cheaper and more affordable than any other rideshare, not only in our local area, but also if you were to take travel to, let's say, the Detroit game in Detroit. We also have a Nights Out Get Home Safe program to get people, when they're out at night enjoying themselves, to get them home safe. Explore Grand Rapids Premier City Guide Activity Packages is pre-scheduled, where a lot of our activities are purchased, and then we pre-schedule the riders or the drivers and match them up for that city activity guide. Most city activity guides come with 3 rides, where we'll pair up one driver with those 3 rides, and it'll just solidifies your schedule for the week. Now, points for cold $10 cash. We offer points for every ride, and that equates to 3,000 points. You get $10 cold cash. Now, that cash can come in as far as a reward, or you can take cash itself. We also believe in giving back to the community, and one way we do it is we have a very deep sense of gratitude for a lot of the elderly people, and the reason being is because a lot of them are on fixed low incomes, and they receive a free complimentary ride to medical appointments at any time. They contact our office at a 24/7 support line, 616-204-0496, and in which they can go ahead and schedule their complimentary ride. Now, we believe the uniqueness of our platform will create benefits and value for not only the rider, but the driver in our local economy. Now, remember, our strength is in our unity. It was almost like back in the time when truckers were having issues, and we had the Teamsters before the Teamsters came into play. The truckers collectively, they did the same thing that Uber and Lyft drivers are doing now. They're out there, they're picketing, they're even getting to the point where they stop taking rides for a certain period of time to affect their voice. It happened back with the trucking industry. The same thing happened to the truckers, and what they do, they eventually became independent drivers. A lot of them became independent drivers, or they were fixed on income on their rides. So it forced the companies, because the drivers collectively joined together, it forced the companies to have a better leveling playing field for the people that they drive for them, and also the riders. So our whole thing is to bring us all together, make decisions based on our platform, based on the collective group of drivers, and then make changes in our platform based on what we believe is needed and what we'd like to see Ride Local become. An opportunity to drive on your terms. The time is now. This is an opportunity that you cannot pass out. It will give you financial freedom, but the big thing about it is that it's going to give you more income. You can work the same amount of hours you do, or double up the hours and then make 4 times the amount you've been making, but you can literally drive the same amount of hours and make double to 3 times the amount of money that you're making with Uber and Lyft. And you do that basically because of the 100% fares that we pay. Ride Local will bring ride sharing into the future by providing a platform that's built by local businesses for riders and drivers to enrich people's lives in the community and by becoming Grand Rapids community asset. Two owners of the company, Angelo Darren and Don Keller, have been local business owners in the Grand Rapids area since 2013, with over 57 years combined service with over 15 local businesses started and operated in the Western Michigan area. Studied at Davenport College and Aquinas College, business of law, and also licensed, insured, and bonded. Company backed by local business investors, our local residents, meaning our riders and drivers, and of course our higher power. We also have the local riders that have invested with our company and helped build our company to what it is today. Now we get into a section where we take Ride Local, we take Explore Grand Rapids, we put them together, and it gives us an opportunity to level the playing field and make 2020 the best year of your life in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now remember, hopelessness is when you continue to do the same thing, expecting different results. A lot of times people are trying to get Uber to change. If you force Uber to change, the change will be short-lived. The reason being is because they don't not care about drivers. The reason being is they're trying to get profitable when we come into the year 2020. In order to be profitable, they have to reduce their charges to the driver. And they've already said that openly in public. The other thing that we have a problem with is a lot of times when you drive for Uber or Lyft, you're not building any platform, you're building it for them. They're making a majority of the money, you're building a platform for them. And all this time that you wasted trying to build your platform right now is futile. It goes by the wayside. Why? Because there's no tying you into the rider or into the community. And that makes it where people will use companies based on pricing. Because I know there are some riders out there that'll have an Uber and Lyft app on, and then they'll try both when they take a travel, and the cheapest one they'll go with. One thing about Ride Local, because we are local and because we watch our costs and because we're profitable from day one, the one thing we want to do is make sure that our prices to our riders is competitive in order for them to use us. The main thing for a rider to use us for is because we're local, our prices are lower, they're more affordable. Because our cost isn't as high as some of these other companies, we minimize our costs, and that way we can maintain our prices to our customers. The other thing, we minimize our costs, and that way we give value to the driver. So the more value we can give to the driver, the better platform we're gonna have, and the better rides are gonna be taken with the riders. Anyone can make money, but it takes a real leader to create financial freedom. And I'll tell you, if you go out and drive for Uber and Lyft, you make money. So anybody can do that. Not everybody can take that and make profitability and then turn that money into a passive income stream. Nobody can create financial income based on the wages that they pay you and the percentages they pay you through the Uber and Lyft platform. I think drivers are starting to get to a point where there's no value to them. The only value is for them to take the ride, but there's no value for them. I don't believe Uber and Lyft looks at them as humans. I think they look at it as a figure, an app, and then so the disconnect from having emotion for your fellow man is not there. It's not set up for a win situation on all sides. Remember, there's no sign-up fee whatsoever. We do have a sign-up code, RLW1219. The purpose for that sign-up code is so we can track on how we are bringing drivers in. Obviously, we do it through our webinar, and there's other medias too, as far as Google AdWords, and then there's other platforms that we promote our driver base on. So a lot of our invite code with the RLW1219 lets us know that it comes from this platform, and that's important for us to know that as a business. Background checks takes about 30 to 7 days. They're pretty quick. Vehicle inspections happen at the meet and greet, and then at that time we also go through the app with you, make sure it's functioning, and then we give you what we call a launch plan. We have a launch plan that we go ahead and sit down with you, start that launch plan. That way you know exactly, what do I do now? I signed up, I'm approved, now what do I do? So there's different things you have to do prior to starting the business. One is branding, and then one is as far as what niche you want to go into. Now, I can have a niche market where my niche market, let's say, is airport. All right, where I'm going to end up developing relationships, not only for the riders coming in and out of there, but also I'm going to develop relationships with the security personnel at the airport and people at the airport. We want to provide a service that's inclusive of trouble. In other words, and if we don't work with our counterparts, like the airport or some of the venues, if we don't work with them, then really we don't know what really is good for them. A lot of times they will give us ideas of how to improve it or what we have to do to get to the next hurdle. And so it's very important for us to do that. I won't get a lot into that, but really it starts when you're signing up. From that sign up, we put you in a plan, and through that plan, we show you how to take you from zero income from Ride Local and build that base over a period of time. And then it depends on you. I'll give you an example. I go out and drive, and every time I do, I end up picking up 2 or 3 rides from Ride Local. Now, how do I do that? That's another thing that I will let you in on that as soon as you sign up, and then we get into our launch plan for your business. Anyhow, if you have any questions, contact us at www.ridelocalgr.com. Our phone number, of course, is 616-204-0496. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer them for you. And we look forward to you joining us again next week. Next week, we have a special segment, 3 easy ways to jumpstart your business. And it's a really indispensable, not only for drivers that are part of the Driverpreneur program, but also people that are thinking about it or people that are just driving for other platforms. It'll give you an opportunity to know how to jumpstart your business when it comes to the Ride Local, but you can also use that information for just about any business. So a lot of times what I do is take things from an industry that works for that industry, that becomes good, and then I try to cross those things over into our current industry. I've done that with all the businesses I've ever started, and it really does. It levels that playing field, but it fills that gap that like a lot of businesses have initially. Anyhow, I welcome you to our next webinar on Monday at 6 p.m. I also welcome any questions or answers that you have. And one other thing I do want to do is I'll go ahead and list the poll, and that will get a way it'll give you an idea of to see exactly what that is. But anyhow, thank you for joining us. Appreciate the time spending with you. And as always, I will see you at the top.